Hello everyone, and welcome to our September Town Hall meeting. Once again, we will be presenting to you virtually. Unfortunately, we still cannot have all of us gathered together here in the auditorium to share all the things that are going on here at Monroe Village. But we do think it's important to keep you up to date, to keep you informed, and hopefully be able to share with you everything that we do. That being said, I'd like to start today's meeting by acknowledging that today is September 11th, and it is the 19th anniversary of the September 11th attacks. I'm sure that all of us can remember and think about where we were as the planes went into the towers in New York and at the Pentagon, and the plane went down in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. To me, it is one of those sentinel moments in history. For many of our residents, I would imagine Pearl Harbor, the attack on Pearl Harbor December 7th is a sentinel moment like that. Assassination of President Kennedy. For folks of my generation, the Challenger explosion in 1986 would be a moment like that to me, as well as September 11th. They are dark days in our country's history, but days that also showed the resilience of our country and all the things that make us Americans. I don't know how to put it other than that. So I'd ask that we just take a moment of silence just to reflect on the 19th anniversary of the September 11th attacks and those that we lost that day. Thank you. All right, we will go ahead and get started. We again have a full agenda for you, just as always. Maybe not quite as full as last month. We're back to our more regular routine of just having a few presenters, not everybody presenting. But that doesn't mean that there may not be questions, and we'll get to that a little later on in your way that you can share and interact with us. All right, first up would be Tina Hanneman. Tina is our administrator and assistant executive director. She is responsible for Village Point. Unfortunately, Tina can't be with us today, so I am going to present on Tina's behalf. Just a few things to note over at Village Point. We have some really good news. We are COVID-free over at Village Point, which is great. We have no cases of COVID-19 over there. We are allowed under Department of Health regulations to have outdoor visits for our residents and their guests. We are not allowed to have indoor visits yet, just outdoor visits. So we are doing those. They are being held at the pavilion or gazebo areas that we have in the courtyards. So it's a nice covered space where folks can gather together and spend some time. Those visits are going very, very well. The residents are enjoying seeing their loved ones. Their loved ones are of course happy to see their family members as well. So we're really pleased to be able to offer that, and hoping that as regulations continue to change, we may be able to offer some sort of indoor visits in a controlled environment over at Village Point, particularly knowing that the weather is going to get colder and not warmer, unfortunately, going into the fall. I think it's important to note over there at Village Point, we are remaining vigilant with our training and education provided to our staff regarding COVID regulations and what we need to be doing. Proper use of PPE, proper infection control, social distancing, what we need to be doing to keep ourselves safe and to keep our residents safe. We're doing that all throughout our community, both at Monroe Village and at Village Point with our team members. But as I think you probably can understand, it's even more important over there at Village Point because we do have a more compromised population that lives in that community. Last thing to note is that our census is rebounding. I think Tina mentioned last month, and we know due to COVID-19, all of our communities in Spring Point, and really all communities like ours throughout senior living, have experienced a decline due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Particularly to note over at Village Point, when all of the hospitals stopped doing elective procedures things such as elective hip replacements or other things that necessitate rehab after that surgical intervention, all of those stopped. And we do a lot of that short-term business over there at Village Point, where people come in, they rehab, they get well, and they go home. Whether home is home outside of Monroe Village and Village Point altogether, or back here in independent living or assisted living at Monroe Village. Since all of that stopped, we struggled with our census over there at Village Point. But those sorts of procedures and the return to some semblance of normalcy at a hospital is starting to happen. And as a result, we are starting to see our census grow over there at Village Point. We're really happy about that and hope to see that continue in the coming months. So that's all the news that's fit to print over at Village Point, and I thank Tina for providing us with that information. Okay, next up is Nathan Perez, our Director of Sales and Marketing. He has some updates on the sales front. So here's Nathan.
Hi everybody, hope you're all doing well. So as we reported last month, we are still being affected by the pandemic and the kind of fear and confusion that's still out there. Right now, our roll-up year-to-date is in front of you. We had a sales goal of 36 at this point in the year. We do have 18 in, so we're roughly about half of that. And closings, again, we had about 37 as a goal. We have had 18 closings so far this year. We do have one sale so far for the month of September. This is someone that we were working with before COVID that kind of had to put everything on hold, and then she did come back to us now. She felt more confident. She understood what we were doing well in the community. The area obviously is stable in terms of COVID and the pandemic, so she said, hey, I'm ready. I've been ready. I've just been waiting to peek my head back out. So hopefully that is something that we will see a resurgence of folks we were working with towards the end of last year, beginning of the year, right before COVID kind of crested over all of us. We do have 3 closings scheduled between the end of September and like first week of October. So we'll have 3 new people joining us as in the independent living. This month, I think I touched on it last month, we are kind of challenged without the ability to do large events. That's typically our bread and butter in terms of lead generation. So instead of being able to host people on the community, in the campus, what we're going to be doing is a webinar presentation or an online presentation. We are partnering with a gentleman by the name of Brad Breeding. He's a financial planner and a senior living expert. We utilize his website a lot as a resource to send folks and to print out material who are starting the education process and the research process about life plan communities or CCRCs like Monroe Village. So we are going to have him hosting a webinar, or we're going to be hosting his webinar really, on how to plan for the future in an uncertain environment. We're hoping that this is a topic that will pique some interest and allow us to speak to some new folks and have them start to investigate what Monroe Village is. That's going to be around the end of the month. We are seeing appointments increasing. I would say that we have started to see that over the past couple of weeks, where people are coming again back to us saying, hey, we're ready to talk again. I feel more comfortable to come visit again. I have 2 appointments later today. We have 2 tomorrow. So we are starting to see an increase in those appointments, whether they're first visits or subsequent visits. We also are seeing some increased interest in our assisted living. So for those folks that want to move to a continuing care campus to our assisted living, if we do have the availability to do so, we may move in a couple people directly into our assisted living. Most of the focus though is going to be on independent living, obviously, as it always is. So we're just working with our sales folks, with Paula and Karen, on targeting some micro strategies. Instead of being able to bring folks in for appointments, and some people are still skeptical, we're trying to focus on what we can do with them, whether they feel comfortable with us meeting them out in the public, at their home, sending them resource guides, downsizing guides, any sort of yes we can get right now, just to continue to build relationships. That's what we're targeting with each of the sales counselors and my leads themselves. Kind of using this as an opportunity to reset the marketing program a bit, since we had to put everything on pause. now that we're kind of moving our gears again, want to look at some things that maybe weren't working before, things that maybe I had on the back burner or we thought about before, but we just didn't pull the trigger on. So some of the things you'll see us be involved with more is specifically our social media platforms. Those of you that have met him, Joe Reyes is our new marketing coordinator. He does come from a marketing background and some social media background, so I'm going to be kind of unleashing him a little bit, setting him up with some new tools to be able to take pictures of all of the new programs that you are all starting up again. We're going to focus on food with the new dining program menus, the new highlights there. Any of the fun programs we have, we're going to be taking some testimonials and recommendations from people that have had good experiences. So if you have some good experiences, we'd love to take your picture in your home and just do a short highlight on you on our websites, as well as focusing on educational topics about retirement living or the industry in general. Touching on the testimonials and online reviews, I really do need some help and support and some resident testimonials. A lot of you have been sharing with our other staff, or a lot of the administration about your good experience with us through COVID-19. I am reaching out to you right now to just ask you to come to me and let me know if you feel comfortable posting that story online. I've reached out to a couple people and they've shown some interest, but we really do want to get a good stream of positive stories going out there. If we can have maybe one a month for the next 4 to 5 months, that would be tremendous. And that would allow us to get that story of all the good things we've been doing out there. I want to remind everybody too that we do have our resident referral program. For those of you that haven't heard of it before, we'll be putting out some in-house notices to you. We'll be targeting some internal marketing for it, so you might see some posters being posted up about it, just so that it's a little bit more in our face and a reminder to everybody about the great benefit of the referral program. So that is basically spread the good word about the community to your friends, your family. If they do show any interest at all, if they'd like to know any information, you simply write their name and contact information, whatever they're comfortable with, whether that is a phone number, an address, an email address, all of the above. You just bring it to my staff and then we'll start to communicate with that person. I think you all know that we don't really do a hard sell, but we do like to do a hard education and let folks know what all the benefits are. So that's kind of our approach with that. If your referral does move into the community or your family's referral moves into the community, traditionally we do give you 1 month of a credit. So we will pay your monthly fee for 1 month. Jay and I have spoken, as well as the Vice President of Sales, and just to kind of kick off some more energy into that program, for the next 6 months, so from now until March of 2021, if you do bring us a referral and they move into the community again within those 6 months, not only are we going to pay for 1 month, we're going to pay for 2 full months off of your monthly fee. So for some of you, that could be a significant savings that we'd love to pass on to you. And like I said, we just want to create some more energy, just get that word out there, tell your family, hey, I can get 2 months off if we know someone that wants to move into the community. And we figured 6 months is a good time frame for them to show some interest, to have our sales folks work with them, and to plan a timely move that they're comfortable with between the end of the year, holiday season, and the beginning of the real estate market in the new year. So again, that's 2 months off that I'd love to give to you. And if we think about it, you know, if we have roughly about 200 plus residents right now, say half of you extremely love living here to the point where you can give that good word out there, which is being a little bit, you know, on the low end here. I'd like to think that more like 70-80% of folks will love to get that word out. But, you know, even if half of us got the word out, half of you brought me one person that you know, one friend, one family member, that's still about 100 names that we could start talking to right away. So just bring me one name. You know, you don't have to bring me 20 people, 5 people. Just bring me one person, that your in-laws, your cousin, someone that has shown an interest in the past that it might be a good time to start talking to them about making a great change. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see you around.
Thanks, Nathan. You know, we say it almost every month that you as our residents, despite how good Nathan and his team are, you are our best salespeople. You are the ones who experience everything that Monroe Village has to offer day in and day out, and are the ones who can speak the best about the Monroe Village experience. We would be thrilled. Nathan said bring you one name. Start with one, but if you got 5, you got 10, you got 20, we'll take them too. It's all good. But we would be thrilled to see a tremendous outpouring of interest and have those folks that you refer to us move in so that we can provide you with 2, not 1, 2 months complimentary monthly service fee. It would be a real benefit to you as an individual and would help us as well as we look to continue to add to the Monroe Village family. So, think about who's out there that you know that has heard a little bit about your time here at Monroe Village and everything that you enjoy, and think about whether or not they would love to come and join the fun, and let us know about it, all right? Thank you so much. Next up is Reverend Terry Thomas Primer. She is going to share with us what's going on in our spiritual life world. As many of us know, we are now in the month of September and we are approaching the High Holy Days. Again, not like it's been in years past, but we are going to make sure that we do everything we can to make the High Holy Days as normal, and that's a normal as we can possibly make it. And Reverend Terry's worked really hard on a plan, and she's here to share some of that with you now. Do you want to drive or do you want me to drive?
I think I can.
Okay.
Just pushing the button.
Yeah, just pushing the button.
Good day. We're glad to have you here. And as Jay said, we're going to be approaching the High Holy Days, and reluctantly we are going to do those virtually. But we're going to think about those as small opportunities to connect spiritually and to honor the days during this crazy time of the pandemic. We've had a little more sociability going on, but I am deeply saddened that we are unable to gather as we have for the past 24 years. But we will do so in each other's homes and by way of just some special events. So the first opportunity we have to do that is Mike is going to be doing a special meal for us for Friday evening. But included in that is a to-go box. Just as we did Passover to-go with some of the essential items, this year we will be offering a to-go box for anyone who requests it that will have apples, honey, challah, and a small glass of grape juice. You can, of course, supply your own wine from your own cellar if you would like that instead, but we will be supplying the grape juice. So again, you'll be able to note that on your menu for the night, and Mike and his gracious team will be putting that together for us. So that's included in that box will be a copy of the blessings. There's a blessing for nearly everything that happens in Judaism, and we're going to include those just in case you need a refresher. We're going to be doing our service, which will be greatly diminished virtually. This afternoon, I'm actually going to be taping the sermon portion for Rosh Hashanah, but it will be shown on September the 19th, which is Saturday, the first day of the High Holy Days. I'm going to be taping a welcome and a short sermon, as well as some of the prayers that are included in our prayer book. Following that, I've already sent to Steve the cantor singing Avinu Malkeinu from the Park Avenue Synagogue in New York City. It's a lovely setting. You almost feel like you're stepping into the synagogue, and the cantor does a wonderful job. The last thing for our service that day will be Miles Goldberg, who's our former Resident Association president, playing the shofar. This is particularly poignant because Miles knew at the time that he played that he had pancreatic cancer and really would not see the following year. I think the shofar playing is incomplete, but because he's well known in our community, I thought it would be particularly poignant that we have his blowing in the new year for us. On September the 27th, the eve of Yom Kippur, I've arranged again for a snapshot or the singing of the Kol Nidre by the same cantor at Park Avenue. The chant is about 6 or 7 minutes long, so we have it scheduled for 7 p.m. So if you want to take that time to kind of begin that last runway into the High Holy Days, this is your chance to hear that chant. And then for Yom Kippur, I will be doing the same thing. I will be taping a short sermon, reading the prayers for that day. And immediately after that, we're going to be taping a Yizkor service. This is the opportunity to to remember those who have gone before us. In the past, we have offered opportunities for people to make a donation to the Rabbinical Fund. We've been extremely fortunate in that our contributions over the last 5 years enabled us to have Rachel Kipnis, who was our academic year intern. So your contributions make a difference. I've already received some contributions for this year, but if you would like to be included in that Yizkor service, we're going to read the names for virtually as part of a small service. You can do that. You can pick up a form either in the mail room, or our concierge has copies of that form that you can fill out, include your check, return it to either the concierge or to me. The donations are all tax deductible, so you have really nothing to lose and everything to gain by remembering those whom we have loved and who are no longer in this world. All right, well, thank you, and I am deeply sorry we are not going to be able to meet together, but we will have lots of opportunities to connect. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Terry. As we say, unfortunately, during the holidays that are upcoming where we normally would be able to gather together, we won't be able to do so. But I hope you take advantage of what we'll be able to provide for you this year, with the hope and the thought that as those of the Jewish faith, as we go into the new year, are looking forward to hopefully what will be a better year in the year ahead. Just a quick reminder, and Reverend Terry mentioned about the importance of your donations and contributions to provide for our rabbinical intern. Please remember that our ability to have the Spiritual Life program here at Monroe Village is due to the generosity of those who contribute to the Spring Point Foundation. The Spring Point Foundation fully funds the chaplaincy and spiritual life programs on our campuses, and it is through the generous donors who contribute to the foundation that allow this to continue. So if you're feeling generous and feel the value of our spiritual life program, as I think we all do, please consider a donation to the Spring Point Foundation with it earmarked to the Spiritual Life program. We would very much appreciate that. Thank you. All right, next up is Cindy Felter, our Director of Resident Services. The Resident Services team has been very busy. Let me say that again, very busy. Planning, organizing, figuring out how to do stuff in the new normal, as we've been calling it, right? We have a pretty robust program set up for the month of September. Many of you have already probably heard and seen about it since we are, 11 days into the month. But I think it's important to note that they have done a tremendous job working hard to figure out what to do to try to provide for programs and events for all of our residents as best we can in what is certainly a unique and challenging situation. So that being said, please welcome to the podium Cindy Felter, Director of Resident Services. You driving or am I driving?
How about you?
Okay. Yes, dear.
Hello. Wait. Hi, everybody. It is good to talk to you again. We've seen so many of you come out for our rally time. Okay. Rally time was a very big success. We saw over 80 people. And we have, 17 different activities that people can sign up for. So there are small groups except for things like the outdoor concert, which We're not sure if you'll see this before that happens on Saturday, but we're so excited that we're gonna have an outdoor concert. We have a sing-along, we have all kinds of wonderful things going on, so stay tuned. All right, I'll go over some of them. Let's see, we have bingo, and thank you to our new volunteers who are taking over the reins and putting new energy into our bingo. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Our first time is today. Bible study, beat the clock, Socrates Cafe, which is Steve talking about different philosophical subjects. What would you do? That's resident run. Cornhole, which you would think, cornhole, it is very popular, and it is really good to see new people going out there and playing and doing really well. And that's down by the community room. Current affairs, resident run. Rosary outdoor concert, sing-alongs, fashion on the go, new caregiver exchange group, and of course exercise classes. Something that we had someone go on a bus trip last week, and they had been in a funk for about 2 weeks. We took the bus to Thompson Park, and all they did was sit outside off campus, and she felt like a new person. So I encourage everybody to use the bus trips, even if it's just to get out of Dodge. When I was in college, I would take my 25-cent vacations where I would take the bus loop. This is in Washington State, it was beautiful. So in the middle of finals, I got a new perspective. So hopefully you can too. We're gonna go to Four Brothers Ice Cream, Trader Joe's once, Monroe Library a few times, the local banks, Target, Walmart, Thompson Park, the mall, Pop's Garden, Farm and Garden, and the regular ones. So we hope that you will use the bus now, because we can only take 4 people. So what we're doing is we're doing trips that are close by. So if we have 8 people who want to go, we can drop them off, we can run back, pick up the other people, so just so that we can get you in a new environment, so you get a breath of fresh air, because it has been a long 6 months. Next. Next. I have something. So we have a new concierge starting. This is exciting. Her name is Lisa. She has worked at different positions in Princeton University. She is a very warm, caring person, so I'm really excited she's going to be starting. Marcia's still here, not to worry. We're also having new uniforms at the front desk, so stay tuned for that. And thank you so much for the holler-in surveys. We got 82%?
Just about.
82%, woohoo! And what we're gonna do is we'll give you gift certificates, the people who came and dropped them at the front desk. So thank you so much for doing that, we really appreciate it. Okay, now Steve.
Thanks, Cindy. I think I preempted Cindy as I moved her along when she was talking about all of the events. If you missed the rally time, you can reach out to Steve and he'll provide you with his contact info, so you'll know how to find him. But don't hesitate to get involved. You know, we have really, and I stressed it before Cindy came up, carefully thought out how to do these programs and these events to allow folks to safely get out of their apartments, to participate, to be a part of things. And I know some people will feel more comfortable than others, and that's okay. That's okay. There is no right or wrong answer there when it comes to that. But I did want to assure everyone that all of our programs and events have been very carefully thought out to provide for proper infection control and social distancing. Again, we ask you all to do your part. Wear your masks, wash your hands, use the hand sanitizer at the events. You'll find that anybody who's coming to any of our programs and events is likely going to have their temperature taken, and they are going to have to sign in so that we have information in the event of the need for contact tracing. But the team has worked very, very hard to be able to put together such a robust schedule of programs and events for you, and I want you to feel safe and comfortable in participating in them. And again, if you didn't get the chance to sign up during rally time, please reach out to Steve, and he'll be able to share that with you. And one of the things that Steve is running is that Socrates Cafe, as Cindy mentioned. I've been told I'm dim, So that's why I can't do the Socrates Cafe. But Steve certainly is not dim. So I would like to introduce the brightest bulb at Monroe Village, Steve Ween.
That's high praise. Like Cindy said and Jade said, your rally time was something new, and new always has questions. So it's okay to reach out. 6477. My calls have got a lot more, and since we are picked up and things are more hands-on really than ever in the past, it might take me a little bit time to get back, but I do take notes and the brightest bulb, so I'll get back to you. Again, thank you for the people who did take the time and ask the questions. And rally time was also just a way to I had the idea from actually the church that we go to. We always do rally time in September to sign up for programs and things. So that idea was always in my head. And again, with things have been quiet for 6-7 months. Again, wanted the opportunity to see people and have that, because people that came that first day, we had I think 40 people in the clubhouse, and thanks to Cindy and Gina, we were able to see everyone. There was maybe a line, but the whole point was take a seat, we'll come to you, we'll give you the schedule, and we'll have that time of discussion. So again, thank you. And if anyone was out that week, call 6477. And again, how we got to this point is the volunteers. It's been a very, gratitude moment to see people stepping up and providing a service, not just for the community, but for themselves. I know one individual, when I reached out, the individual was so happy. She was very clear and was, sign me up for anything, I'll do it. So, and thank you for the programs for next week that we're starting. For example, Tuesday would be what would you do? And due to the COVID restrictions, we do have a limited seating. So if you do have those questions, give me a call. For those people that did sign up for rally time, you did get a schedule last Friday at your door. So if you have any questions, still reach out to me, okay? We are still taking walk-ins, but due to the capacity limit, we might have to give you another day. We are seeing that people understand that once I have that time to talk to everyone, because it is new. It's new for me, it's new for everyone. So again, thank you for your time and patience. And the things that we have done doesn't mean that's going to be what we're doing even going forward. We are evaluating what is working, adding things that we've done in the past, but also adding new things. So if people do have ideas, we do have new move-ins, like Nathan said, please reach out. I think, again, having a clear mind and thinking outside the box is a good opportunity. So again, thank you and enjoy your day. Oh, one more thing. Always working.
Brightest bulb.
What I've been doing today too is decorating, because next month is October, so fall is 2 weeks away. I'm pretty prompt with the decor, so I'm working on that now. And that means Halloween. So Halloween is next month. I would urge people to work with their family or their friends. I know the Halloween places are open. The bus is going out. We're gonna have fun for Halloween. So we'll all get costumes, and more information will come out for the October town hall. Now I'm done.
Thank you, Steve. Again, lots of good stuff going on. We are coming back to life at Monroe Village. And I will tell you now, for Halloween costumes, if you're only as creative as wearing a mask, you're not going to win any contests, folks, okay? We need a little better than that. So more to come. I know Steve's got a lot planned for the month of October when it comes to that. All right, so we go from programs and events and how things have geared up there to dining services. We've also seen quite a ramp up in activity, if you will, out of our dining services team. Mike Wierzbowski and Joe Memon and Candy Scott have been working hard as we try to bring life back to the dining services program. It's been very difficult, as we know, over the last 6 months or so, as we've had to transition from full service in the dining room and the bistro to pickup service, where we couldn't allow folks into the dining room and the bistro, to delivery service, to where we couldn't allow anybody even out of their apartment at all. And now we've started on just the reverse. First thing we did was we started with pickup for Continental breakfast. We found success there, and that's in great part due to the work of Mike and his team, but also the cooperation of all of the residents in keeping that social distancing in the bistro when they came up to pick up their Continental breakfast. Unfortunately, we can't gather together yet for Continental breakfast, but we can do grab and go. The success of that allowed us to build to having lunch be a grab and go pickup situation out of the bistro. We've been doing that for several weeks now, and that too has proven quite successful. It's given residents an opportunity to get out of their apartments, to stretch their legs in a safe and comfortable way, again allowing for proper social distancing, infection control procedures, wearing of the mask, and things like that. And everyone has been very cooperative with that, and it's been nice to see our residents out and about. We've now this week moved to dinner, and Mike's going to talk a little bit more about that. I will tell you, Mike's going to talk about the schedule, but I will tell you I've had the opportunity to observe the dinner pickup the last several nights, and it has gone very smoothly. Thank you to all of our residents for that. And what's been great is to see the smiles on the faces of our residents. Even though they're wearing a mask and you can't see their face, we all know, we can tell when someone's smiling, whether they're wearing their mask or they're not. And it's been great to see their smiles and the interaction of the residents with our kids in dining services. I know the kids are enjoying getting to see our residents again just as much as you are enjoying getting to see them. So it's going very, very well. And with that, I'm going to bring Mike up, and he's going to talk a little bit more about where we're going with dining services as we reopen. So here's Mike. Do you want me to drive or you want to drive? Drive. You'll drive? You can drive. I'll drive. Okay.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm glad to be back again this month doing two of my most favorite things, which is public speaking and being videotaped while I'm doing it. As Jay had mentioned, I think the pickups which we started this week have been going very well. One of the things that I just want to remind everyone of is to not come down too early to pick up your meals at earlier than your time. We're trying to avoid having a buildup of folks in either of the two pickup areas. Just to go over that, a few more things regarding the dinner meal and the protocol associated with it is if some folks, when they call down and leave their order on the voicemail, please just remember to specify whether your order is to be picked up or you would like it to be delivered. That's one thing that would help us in dining services, just to not have to call back residents and try to reach them and get in contact with them to ask whether the food order is to be picked up or delivered. Any deliveries, we've been delivering a little bit earlier, but we're trying to get all the deliveries out well before 6 o'clock p.m. I know some folks like to eat a little bit later in the afternoon, early evening, so we're trying to make sure that we get the meals delivered in between 5:30 and 6 p.m. So that's just a few things with the pickups, and as Jay had mentioned, it is very nice to see everybody out and about again. I know the dining services staff, have enjoyed seeing everyone again, and we hope to do more of that in the very, very near future. With the pickups, just a reminder again, the dinner meals for A, B, and C wing will be picked up at the main entrance of the Fireside Restaurant, and the schedule is on the slide. And the D, E, and F wings, we have a table set up near the library entrance, back where, that way it's close proximity to the elevator, and we're able to bring the meals up to the top of that ramp, so that the residents do not have to go down both ramps to get to the restaurant to pick up their meals. So I think that's worked out very well at the library entrance. I would like to also thank the residents. I've had many phone calls and emails, and I've responded to all of them that I have received, but I would like to thank everyone for reaching out and contacting me, regarding we've received very positive feedback with the lunch menu in the Village Bistro. I think many residents enjoy having the opportunity to shop on a daily basis with the market, so you don't have to wait for assigned days to pick up a loaf of bread or a quart of milk or some eggs or things of that nature. So I think that's been definitely a step in the right direction, and we're going to keep moving forward over the course of the next few weeks. I'm happy to say that starting on Tuesday, September 15th, we will begin to offer once again the dinner in the Village Bistro. Initially, it will still continue to be takeout only at this time, but that will start with a new dinner menu, which will be separate from the Fireside Restaurant menu, and that will begin on September 15th. Also with the bistro, based on the feedback from our residents, I was able to take a look at the lunch menu, and we are going to make some changes and some additions to that menu as well, so that there's a little bit of variety, and some things are automatically included with some of the dishes that are on that menu. So I'm happy to report that that will be going back, and then we will be moving. The next step for the Village Bistro will be to start indoor dining. Everyone is aware that there is the governor in the state of New Jersey has opened restaurants for indoor dining. It is at a very limited capacity right now. It's limited to 25%, which, as you can imagine, in the Village Bistro is only a few tables. So what we will do when we do begin indoor dining, and that should start within 2 weeks, will be reservations only, and we will offer 2 seatings. So we will get more information out to everyone once we begin indoor dining in the Village Bistro. Due to the limited capacity in the Village Bistro, we will still continue to do takeout pickup only for breakfast and lunch. If we opened it up for indoor dining, there would not be enough capacity to allow people to do both at this time. I think as we move forward, many other states are increasing from 25 to 50% capacity, for example. I think once we get, we're able to have a little bit more percentage for the indoor dining, then we can reevaluate and reassess, those sorts of things. As Reverend Terry had mentioned, on September 18th, we will be doing a menu for Rosh Hashanah. That will be available on the 18th out of the Fireside Restaurant. On September 22nd, we will be doing an autumn harvest, the fall harvest menu. Once again, that will be out of the Fireside Restaurant. And we will look towards just about the end of the month of September to reopen the Fireside Restaurant for indoor dining. Once again, I wanted to bring it to everyone's attention. It will be a different dining experience. We still have to follow the protocols that are put in place, and we will have to honor the 25% capacity of the Fireside Restaurant. So, we will have to do some things, and we will need everyone's cooperation, when coming to the dining room. Once again, we will be doing 2 different seatings. Those seatings will be by reservation only, which is something new and something different for all of the residents. So even if you are a single diner, you will be required to make a reservation. We have to keep track of the number of people that we allow into the Fireside Restaurant. We have to observe safety protocols with table spacing and seat spacing as well once we reopen for indoor dining. There will be some safety measures that we will have to put in place, such as a temperature check station for when you enter into the Fireside Restaurant. We will have hand sanitizer available. We will have to take your temperature before we can let you into the Fireside Restaurant, or the Village Bistro for that matter. We will have those temperature stations set up. And residents will be required to wear a mask as you arrive for your reservation at the main entrance of the Fireside Restaurant and Village Bistro. Your temperature will be taken. You will be required to wear a mask until you are seated at your table. If residents need to get up from their table to use the restroom, for example, you will be required to wear a mask from your table to the restroom and back again to your table. We do have to make sure also when residents arrive for their reservations, we keep the social distancing aspect in place and remain 6 feet apart. And we will also, when we reopen the restaurants, both the Village Bistro and the Fireside Restaurant, we will be doing disposable menus. We will have paper menus that we will dispose of once you have placed your order. So those are a few of the things that we will have coming up in the very near future, and we will put out more details in advance, so everyone is aware of what the seating times will be. In dining services, we will need a little bit of time in between each seating so that we can properly clean and disinfect the tables, the chairs, any items that might be on the tables, as well as we will be responsible for your scooters and wheelchairs as far as sanitizing and disinfecting those items before we return them to you as well. So there's a lot of education, as you can imagine, that we have to do with our staff and our managers. Our goal is also to have an Oktoberfest on October 7th in the Fireside Restaurant and Bistro. And also, my goal is that on October 11th, we return and have our first Sunday brunch. We will be a menu, just like we were doing. We had started doing that in January. We did it in February, and our last Sunday brunch, where everyone was able to come down to the Fireside Restaurant for brunch, was March 15th, and we closed the restaurants on March 17th. Had to make the changes that we need to do. One other thing that I would just like to mention in terms of reopening for indoor dining, I think it's a requirement right now is that there are no guests or family members will be permitted to dine indoor dining in either the Village Bistro or in the Fireside Restaurant. I think that keeps more seats, especially with the very limited capacity that we have, that there is more room for our residents who have been looking forward to the reopening of indoor dining for quite some time now. So once again, if my contact information is up on the slide. If anyone has any questions, My extension is 6424, and you can email me at my email address. Also, once again, I would like to stress that we do put these changes out as well as the menus to watch channel 1979. Those updates are on there. I'm leaving the dinner slides up on the slideshow presentation a little bit longer to give our residents a little bit more time to read the slides, because there's a lot of words and information on those slides. So we will leave those slides up a little bit longer on Touchdown. And we will put memos and copies of the bistro menus, the dinner menu. We will put those in your mailbox on Monday so that everyone has one, so that when you call the restaurant, call the Village Bistro for a dinner order, that you know what's on the menu. Also, 2 other extensions that I want just want to go over with everyone to make them aware of is the Village Bistro is extension 6432. So if you're calling to place a lunch or dinner order, please call the Village Bistro at extension 6432. If you are going to place a dinner order for the Fireside Restaurant, that extension is 6433. So those are the 2 numbers for both restaurants, just to go over that once again to avoid any confusion. And I think that's all I have about now. I'm sure I'll be back next month, and we'll report back and get your feedback, and we'll see how we're doing at that time. So there's lots to do over the course of the next few weeks, and we're all looking forward, on my behalf and the behalf of my team. We're really looking forward to seeing everyone back in the restaurants again. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. As you can see, the dining services team has also been very, very busy in the last month as we work toward our new normal in dining operations. Please know that all of the decisions we have made as we are working our way back have been made with a good deal of thought, a good deal of contemplation, and concern for the utmost of everyone's safety. We are not making any decisions willy-nilly, but we do believe that due to the fact that we have been so safe here at Monroe Village, we have not had a case of COVID-19 in Monroe Village since the very beginning of May, so it has been, 4.5 months, I guess. And the declining number of cases in Monroe Township, as well as Middlesex County and the state of New Jersey, that we can safely start the road back. You'll note we're not taking the road back quite as quickly as the rest of the state of New Jersey. We recognize that we have a specific population and that we need to contemplate decisions a little differently than they may impact the state as a whole. But we are following the guidance from the New Jersey Department of Health and from other regulatory agencies in how to best provide all of the service to all of you. If you do have any questions about that, again, please feel free to reach out to Mike, reach out to me. We'll be happy to share with you all of our plans and the decision-making process. But we are excited to welcome you back to the first upstairs to the Bistro and a little bit later downstairs to the Fireside Restaurant. We are excited to be able to do that. And as you can hear from what Mike's had to say, we've got a lot of good stuff planned as well as we reinvigorate our dining services program. If you recall, and now I'm going to kind of ramble a little, if you recall, prior to March, we were really marching forward and making some plans and some changes in our dining services program, thanks in great part to the feedback from our dining services committee. And then, let's be candid, everything went to hell. And we needed to quickly make changes, quickly figure out how to rapidly serve 200 and some meals expeditiously out to all of you in your apartments. And the experience is certainly not what any of us want it to be. We recognize and appreciate that. So a lot of the stuff we had planned, we needed to hit the pause button on, and now we're happy that as we're starting to go forward, we'll be able to reintroduce those plans to all of you. So please look forward to that, and there's definitely more to come. Okay, I have a few things to discuss here today. We'll start with flu shots. Flu shots are coming on Monday, September 14th. They will be held here in the auditorium. We ask that you follow the schedule that has been shared with you already and is up here on the screen. A-wing residents should report to the auditorium between 9:30 and 10:30 a.m. B-wing residents between 10:30 and 11:30. C-wing residents between 11:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. D-wing residents 12:30 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. E-wing residents 1:30 to 2:30, and F-wing residents 2:30 to 3:30. If there is for some reason why you are unable to come during your wing's time, there will be a follow-up session at 3:30 p.m. for any stragglers who were not able to make it during their assigned time. We ask that you please follow this schedule. Please make sure you're wearing a mask. Please make sure you're following appropriate social distancing. We will have all of those things set up for you here in the auditorium. And again, I cannot stress enough the importance that everyone get their flu shot. I think that's important each and every year, but I think that it goes without saying that it is even more important this year. Please, please, please make sure you get your flu shot. Please follow the schedule here so that you can take advantage of the opportunity to have the flu shot right here at Monroe Village. Next up, I wanted to share with you a little bit about the 2021 budget process. While it may not feel like it with all the other fun we've been having, time is marching on. And as you know, we do an annual budget and plan for the coming year here at Monroe Village. So we've been working on the business side of things on the 2021 budget. That involves each and every one of the department directors in formulating what their own departmental budgets will be. The draft budget is currently under review. All of that information from the various departments has been compiled, and we've put it together in a consolidated format, and it's being reviewed at this time. Capital projects, and I like to always distinguish capital projects from regular everyday operations. Capital projects are big ticket things. Things like apartment renovations, things like when we built the club room, things like when we've done renovations in different areas of the community. Large, big ticket items that typically involve construction, involve modification of the building, involve work outside with large pieces of landscaping, things of that nature. Some things that are what I call the unsexy things, like air conditioning and heating unit replacements, things that nobody sees but make a big difference in our everyday lives. Those capital budget projects, we do what's called a capital needs assessment. We work with an outside company that comes in and assesses our physical plant to help us plan for what those needs should be on a regular replacement schedule, so that hopefully we don't end up where something goes out on us, like a heating or a cooling system, or like a large piece of equipment in dining services, and we're stuck. We try to plan for systematic replacement of those sorts of things, and that's all done in the capital budgeting process by way of that capital needs assessment. So the operating budget, and again, the operating budget are those day-to-day expenses, those things that we do and enjoy each and every day. That operating budget will be reviewed with the Resident Financial Advisory Committee, as well as with the Forum Executive Committee, prior to it going to the Board of Trustees for approval. So as you know, there are residents who serve on the Financial Advisory Committee. You have an elected leadership team that is the Resident Association Executive Committee. And then you have Betty Heuser, who is your resident trustee. All of those folks will be provided the opportunity for input on the budget before final adoption. And as of now, and I do say as of now, we are tentatively scheduled to provide the information about the 2021 budget to all of you on Monday, November 16th at 11 a.m. I can't tell you for sure right now whether that will be in person whether that will be virtually, whether that will be some combination of the two, or whether the date may change so that we can provide for a proper opportunity for notification, for questions and answers. We're still thinking through that, but I did want to put the date out there because that's sort of a starting point, and I wanted everybody to be aware of that. Next up, we've heard a good deal of question, and understandably so, about Election Day. Again, COVID-19 has thrown a wrench in that one too. That is not something that is within our, meaning Monroe Village's, control. As you all know, there is a township clerk, there is a county clerk, and there are state folks who run our election process, and that's the way the Constitution dictates it. We do not have any say as Monroe Village in how elections will be conducted. The state of New Jersey has decided that all registered voters will receive a mail-in ballot. I just checked this morning, and I believe those ballots will be mailed out to everyone from the county clerk in the beginning part of October. So look for that in about a month's time, or maybe a little bit less. You will receive that in your U.S. mail. In-person voting. We're used to having in-person voting, right? We have a polling place here at Monroe Village. We are able to vote where we live, which is a wonderful opportunity, normally. This year, after a lot of back and forth and conflicting information from the township clerk, we have been officially notified that Monroe Village will not, I repeat, will not be an in-person polling place for the November 3rd election. Okay? And I hope that everyone can understand that polling places, large numbers of people gather together, right? We're still encouraging people to social distance. In addition to that, Monroe Village is a polling place normally not just for our residents, but for those who live outside of Monroe Village. We welcome them into our community to give them the opportunity to vote. Given the current situation, the township thought it best not to have folks from outside of Monroe Village coming into our community. And we're thankful that they were being thoughtful about us and about what made sense for our community here at Monroe Village. However, I think it's also important to note that there will be the opportunity for in-person voting if you do not want to vote by mail. There will be polling places in Monroe Township. And once we know those locations, and it has not been a final determination made by the township to the best of our knowledge, but once we know those locations, we will share that information with you, and we will provide transportation for those who need it and want the opportunity to go vote in person. So please keep your eyes and ears open for more information about in-person voting in the upcoming November election. We wish we could have the voting here, but like so many other things, we have to adopt to a different plan this time around. Another thing to note, we've been hearing again about phone scams. I've heard a couple of different phone scams out there in the last few weeks that residents have reported to me. One is the COVID-19 contact tracing. People are calling and saying, you may have been exposed to COVID-19. We want to know about where you've been. That is a scam. Hang up the phone. If you have any questions about those things, let us know. The other phone scam I've been hearing quite a bit of lately. Hi, we'd like to save you money on your electric bill. Press 1 to share your information with us. I think everyone knows this, but it bears repeating. Residents of Monroe Village do not pay an electric bill. We as Monroe Village pay an electric bill, don't get me wrong, but you as individual residents do not receive an electric bill, a gas bill, a telephone bill, any bills like that. They are not sent directly to you. You do not pay them like you would in your former life as a homeowner or a renter outside of the Monroe Village community. So any calls like that, they are scams. Please hang up, and again, feel free to let us know about those. You can report any scam phone calls to Rob Shepard. Rob is our Chief of Security. Everybody knows Rob. He can be reached at extension 6401. But please be on the lookout for those phone scams. If you hear something that sounds too good to be true or doesn't make any sense to you, chances are it's a scam. And to bring that message home, literally as I am standing here right now, I just got a phone call on my cell phone, which is sitting in my pocket, which rings on my watch. Okay, so if you saw me look down about 30 seconds ago, that was me looking at that. It was a phone number. I don't know what it was. I'm pretty sure at this point, if somebody's calling me on my cell phone, I have their phone number in my contacts and I know who they are. So phone scams are everywhere. Please be on the lookout and please be vigilant. A few things I wanted to note about our staff, about our team here, about our employees at Monroe Village and Village Point. You as residents have always told me this, but I've heard it even more so in the last few months, how thankful you are and how much you appreciate all of those who work here at Monroe Village and Village Point. We are blessed to have a tremendous team, people who are here for all the right reasons, people who care from the heart. They're not here just for a paycheck. They're here to help make a difference in your lives. And we're going to show that appreciation to them. We have our annual Employee Appreciation Picnic coming up on Monday, September 14th. Now, this is an employee-only event, but I wanted to let you know about it because I think it's important you know that we celebrate all of the hard work of our team members. Now, like everything else, it can't be a normal picnic. Normally, we all gather together out in the parking lot in front of what was the old healthcare center. We have some music, we sit down together, we enjoy one another's company, we have some fun. We're not going to be able to sit down like that. So we are taking the experience of the Employee Appreciation Picnic and turning it into a food truck experience. If any of you watch the Food Network or things like that, you may know that there's been an explosive growth in food trucks, in having food truck festivals. And what is a food truck? A food truck is kind of what it sounds like. It's a big truck that pulls up and they serve food right out of it. You may see them at college campuses, sporting events, on city streets sometimes. It's become a big thing. Pre-COVID, there was a food truck festival my wife and kids and I used to go to that was lots of fun. You just sort of wander around and eat a little bit of this or a little bit of that. So we're going to do that for our staff, for our teams. They can come out, they can get a couple of different things to eat and some choices and sort of do a grab and go as an employee appreciation event in the same way we're doing grab and go for meals for our residents right now. The other way, and this is where you can support our team, you can support our staff for all of their hard work, is the Resident Association Employee Appreciation Fund. I believe you all received a letter about this in your monthly statement. You've probably also seen notices posted all around our community at the elevators if you've been out and about. The Residents Association does a fundraiser for their annual Employee Appreciation Fund. As you know, there is a no tipping policy here at Monroe Village. You may not tip your housekeepers, you may not tip the maintenance folks, you may not tip your servers. They are not allowed to accept cash tips or gratuities. So, the Employee Appreciation Fund, run by the Residents Association, is the opportunity for the residents to show that appreciation for all of the hard work of the staff here at Monroe Village. They work hard, and we ask for your support in recognizing that. The letter that you received, the memo that you received from the Residents Association and what was posted has some more detail about the association, Resident Association Employee Appreciation Fund, and some more information about suggested contribution amounts. I suggest that you refer to that if you have any questions about that. You can place your contributions in the Resident Association mailbox that is in the mailroom. It is down on the bottom row of the in-house mailboxes, right in the middle. You can't miss it. It has a big sign that says Resident Association. Any questions about that, you can refer to Betty Heuser, who is your resident trustee and chair of the Employee Appreciation Fund this year. Oh, did I miss one? I think I missed one. I guess I didn't miss one. I thought I had more to say than I didn't. Remember what I said before about being dim? There you go. So anyway, comments and questions. Once again, unfortunately, since we can't gather together, we can't do live comments and questions, but we do still want your feedback. If after watching this program you have comments or questions, please email or call Gina DePiro, Administrative Assistant Extraordinaire. She can be reached at extension 6413 or via email at the email address up there on the screen. We really do want to hear from you, and if we get those comments and feedback, we will try to integrate them into next month's meeting. We'll answer your questions and your feedback right away individually, but we'll try to, put that information together to share with all of our residents at upcoming meetings. So, with that being said, thank you for your time today in listening and watching our presentation. We hope that it was worth your time. We think it was. A lot to share, a lot going on. And again, we thank you for all you do for everyone here at Monroe Village and for your participation in our community. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much.